October 2025, Portland, Maine. My name's Claire, 34, and I can still feel the moment like it's burned into me. I was in the living room, venting to my brother, Nate, over a glass of wine, letting words spill out I should have swallowed. You know that reckless feeling when you say too much, too loud, and part of you doesn't care? That was me. I told Nate, flippantly, that if I could go back, I wouldn't have married Ryan, my husband. It was like tossing out a casual complaint about a rainy day, not the man I'd vowed forever to. I don't know why I said it. Maybe I was restless, craving Nate's nod of understanding. Ryan wasn't even the problem right then. He was in the kitchen, probably tinkering with his coffee maker, his usual unwind after a long day at the office. But I said it, and the air changed. Not Nate's reaction. He's used to my rants. It was the heavy, suffocating silence that followed. I glanced over and saw Ryan in the doorway, his face unreadable. No anger, no outburst, just a blank stare that cut deeper than any shout. Then he turned, grabbed his jacket, and the click of the front door as he left made my stomach lurch. I expected a fight, maybe a sarcastic jab. Ryan's good for those. But leaving? That wasn't him. He's the steady one, the guy who balances my chaos with his calm. I laughed it off to Nate, said Ryan was overreacting. He'd be fine. But I was lying to myself, dodging the guilt that was already creeping in. An hour passed. No Ryan. I texted, "You okay?" Nothing. I called, got voicemail. Fine, I thought, let him sulk. But as the night dragged on, irritation mixed with unease. Where was he? Was this a game to make me sweat? By midnight, scrolling mindlessly through my phone, I was pretending I wasn't waiting for his key in the lock. I went to bed angry, telling myself he'd be back by morning. He wasn't. His pillow was untouched, his keys still on the counter. I texted again, "Where are you? Can we talk?" Silence. I'm not built for the silent treatment. I need to argue, resolve, move on. Ryan, though, he stews, processes, and it drives me up the wall. I called Nate, venting again. He suggested I apologize. Apologize? I scoffed. For what? Being honest? He shouldn't have been eavesdropping. But the words felt flimsy, even to me. By evening, I was furious. Who just leaves their wife hanging like that? If he had an issue, he could have stayed, talked, not run off like I was the villain. But a nagging voice asked if maybe I was the villain. I'd said something cruel, even if I didn't mean it like that. I do love Ryan, but sometimes I wonder if I'd be happier if we'd taken different paths. That's normal, right? Just thinking out loud? Still, doubt crept in. Ryan's always been the one who bends, who lets me lead, who puts up with my impulsiveness. I'd gotten used to that, assumed he'd always be there. Now I wasn't so sure. I called his sister, Mia. Nothing. His friend, Josh, hadn't heard from him either. Panic edged out anger. What if he wasn't just mad? What if something happened? But Ryan's not reckless. He's the guy who double-checks, locks, and plans grocery lists. By night 2, I was a mess, jumping at every car outside, checking my phone like a lifeline. I told myself he was being childish, but deep down, I feared I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross. Nate called, his voice gentle. "You hear from him?" "No," I snapped. "He's making this bigger than it is." "Claire," he said carefully, "you kind of started it." I wanted to argue, but he wasn't wrong. I'd said something devastating, even if I didn't mean it to be. People vent, sure, but maybe this wasn't just venting. Maybe I'd been careless one too many times. I checked our bank account, desperate for a clue, and saw it. A charge from a motel in Brunswick, dated that morning. Relief hit. He was okay. But then fury. He was hiding out, ignoring me, like I wasn't worth a conversation. I called the motel, but the clerk stonewalled me with a polite, "We can't disclose guest information." I typed a text. "I know you're at the motel. Come home. Let's talk." I deleted it. No way was I begging. But the knot in my gut tightened. Ryan was supposed to forgive me, to let my words slide like always. Why wasn't he? Day 3, I couldn't take it. I drove to the motel, ready to confront him. The clerk gave me the same privacy line. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, fear overtaking anger. What if I'd pushed him too far? This wasn't just about one comment. I'd been sharp with him for months, criticizing his late hours, his quiet evenings, his predictable routines. Maybe I'd been tearing him down without seeing it. That night, the door opened. Ryan walked in, calm, almost too calm. He set his bag down, looked at me with that same unreadable expression. I braced for a fight, but he just said, "We need to talk." "About time," I shot back, arms crossed, leaning against the counter. "Where have you been?" "I needed space," he said, voice even. "To think, to figure out how to deal with what you said." I rolled my eyes, defensive. "You overheard one thing I said to Nate. Now you're acting like I burned our marriage down." "It's not one thing, Claire," he said, a slight edge in his tone. "You said you wouldn't choose me again, that you'd erase us if you could. Do you know what that feels like?" I opened my mouth to argue, but the words tumbled out wrong. Maybe I meant it. You're not the same guy I married. You're distant, Ryan. You're checked out. Can you blame me for feeling stuck? His eyes darkened, hurt flickering. So it's my fault? I'm too boring for you now? Too predictable? "Don't twist this," I snapped. "You barely talk to me anymore. It's all work, bills, routine. Where's the guy who used to surprise me? Who made me feel alive?" He stared, then let out a quiet laugh, not amused. "You think I'm the problem? Claire, I've been here, holding us together while you pick fights, spend money we don't have, and act like I'm never enough. I'm not perfect, but I've tried. And you? You tear me down like it's nothing." I flushed, anger and shame colliding. "So I'm the bad guy? You're perfect now." "No," he said, standing. "But I'm done begging for your respect. You don't see what you have. Someone who's stuck by you through every impulsive choice, every outburst, and I'm tired of being your punching bag." I froze. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I deserve better," he said, voice steady. "If you can't value me, maybe I shouldn't be here." He picked up his bag and left again, leaving me speechless, my heart cracking. Weeks passed. Ryan didn't come back. His texts were short, polite. "I'll grab my stuff soon." No warmth, no opening. When he came to pack, he looked different, sharper, fitter, like he'd been taking care of himself. "Hey," I said awkwardly. "Hey," he replied, distant, and started boxing his things. "Ryan, can we talk?" I pleaded. "About what, Claire?" he said, pausing. "You made it clear how you feel." "I didn't mean it," I said, stepping closer. "I was venting. I was wrong." He shook his head. "It's not just that. It's how you treat me, like I'm not enough. I've spent years trying to make you happy, and all I get is criticism. I'm done." Tears stung. "I can change. We can fix this." He looked at me, almost sad. "I hope you do change, Claire. For you. But I can't wait around anymore. I deserve more." He left, and the house felt like a tomb. A month later, I saw him at a cafe with a woman. Nothing flashy, just warm, laughing together. He looked lighter, happier than I'd seen him in years. He caught my eye, gave a small nod, and turned back to her. I was a ghost to him. Walking away, I felt the weight of my choices. I'd taken him for granted, chipped away at him, and now he was gone. For the first time, I saw it clearly. I hadn't just failed him. I'd failed myself, and that truth hurt more than anything.